No shoot. Okay. I'm gonna have to lower the volume on these voices as well. I don't remember how loud they are. Hold on, wait. I've gotta mute the TV real quick. Babe, you're my age. Also, please ignore the other users. One is my dad and one is my brother. They asked what they wanted their names to be as the users, and like, okay, fine, whatever, I'll put that. I can hear you, you're so cute. I remember this game being good. I remember getting everything on the Vita version. I know there's a fan disc, I own the fan disc. I haven't played the fan disc. I don't even remember the last time I played this game. I remember I played it in like the whole thing in through like 1 week. And I really liked it. And I probably forgot. I remember I like Donut Boy, which is weird because he's a tsundere. I don't usually like those. Oh no, I recognize the voices. Yep. I mean, they have some very similar ones that they used in Code, so I think Junichi's in this one who did Vans, so. Just check the album real quick, because I don't recall if I've played this on the Switch version. I think I had. Yeah, I haven't. Okay. Voice settings. No, that's not what I want. Sound settings. Lower your voices just a little bit. Just a smidge. If it gets too loud, I can turn it back. Yeah, Ichika. This is a work of fiction. People's names appearing in this work are entirely fictional. This work has no relation to the real-world organizations and does not endorse it. Isn't this X-Day incident scary? It's so scary. Well, it's been happening every month. It only happens in Shinjuku. They're gonna quarantine the city. I wonder if there's gonna be another crime threatened this month. Let's just get right to the heart of it. Don't even slow down. Report of X-Day incidents. Report of the X-Day incidents. This is very slow. Hold on. Hold on. Make that fast, thank you. April 1st. The video that started to play on the giant screen facing Shinjuku train station. In order to restore tainted Japan to health, the countdown to X-Day will now begin. Our objective is simple, to purge the corruption from the land and make Shinjuku the site of its rebirth. If you are afraid, then leave this land. We will not be stopped. But know this, no matter where you are, you will be judged. There are no exceptions. We will resurrect the truth in this world. No longer will the weak be persecuted. Some people appearing to be police officers were tied up in the video, so police are working frantically to trace the broadcast. Prior to the broadcast, a number of officers have been reported missing. The transmission's origin and the officers were never found, and then May arrived. Another video showing the bound officers, like the one in April, was uploaded. Thank you for waiting, everybody. The time for judgment is at hand. As we mentioned before, the people here are criminals. In order to cure Japan, such people must be exterminated. Judgment has been passed as a preview of X-Day. This is not the end. Henceforth, we will continue to mete out justice to aid our nation's rebirth. We got Child Worsley, Titus, Minutes, So Young, damn. Oh, okay, I will lower those. She's too loud. There we go. I'll make it half. We'll see if that works. Okay, it's significantly quieter. Our name is Adonis. Hear me well, listeners. Make sure you remember this name, okay? May this world become a paradise. Gunshots rang out during the declaration and the officers were shot. The police traced the video to an abandoned building and confirmed one officer's death. However, the other officers' bloodstains were found. The criminals' trail, the missing officers' whereabouts are still unknown. The incident began a chain of heinous crimes that continued into June, July, and August, and the number of victims steadily rose. Public scrutiny of the police grew harsh as time passed, and police efforts were fruitless. A Roman numeral indicating the countdown and a unique coin believed to be difficult to counterfeit were found at the scene. Markings on the coin had led to some to speculate that the once dismantled terrorist organization known as Adonis had been reborn. And then, on September 1st, exasperated by the recent incidents, the government enacted extreme measures. Shinjuku Quarantine Act. This measure, intended to trap the criminals within the borders of Shinjuku, obviously drew the wrath of the public. Demonstrations bordering on riots broke out, but the government suppressed these and stated that it was for Shinjuku's safety. The government did not stop there. It also adopted unprecedented, extra-legal measures. Repeal of the Swords and Firearms Control Law. To provide citizens a means of defense, firearms were provided to all people over the age of 20 within Shinjuku. It was all under the pretext of self-defense. The firearms and ammo were all coded in order to quickly determine the shooter's identity whenever a weapon was discharged. The criminals have guns, so the people should be given equal access to equal arms. Thus, as an extra legal measure, the residents of Shinjuku District exclusively have an obligation to carry firearms. The law, ratified behind closed doors, was suddenly announced to the public. The police had to obey the government's mandate, and the rest of the citizens trapped within Shinjuku swelled. You know what? I honestly just remembered they're making an anime of this. How did I forget? Yeah, sure, good idea. Though upset, one could say that the citizens were now better suited to survive other incidents. I completely forgot because what, they announced the anime to this like 7 years ago? It was obvious this plan was full of holes, but there was no turning back. On X Day, all would be reborn, and in order for their utopia to become a reality. Honestly, I don't even remember, didn't they pull the US gun control? Did the anime even get released? Color X Mouse deep cover. Oh, it did not get a good score. Okay, it did get released. Okay, it had movies. And it got basically a 6 out of 10. Okay. Hello, you've reached the SRCPO. Yeah, this is Miss Hoshino on the line, right? That man with the gun is loitering around here again. Please come right away. I remember you being nice. Mochida. Was it that granny again, Hoshino? Yes. Your face tells me she hung up on you again. How many times is that now? I'm sorry, she always hangs up before I can say anything, so I couldn't tell her no. Listen, Hoshino, think about every time we've gone out there. Even when we follow up on her reports, it's always just her imagination, or something that wasn't worth the trip out there. How many times has she sent us out there on the wild goose chase now? It certainly is true, we've gotten nothing out of her reports so far. But the way Shinjuku is now, we can't be certain that'll be nothing again. Well, that's true. In any case, isn't the old woman just feeling uneasy? Until 3 short months ago, it would have been unimaginable for a common citizen to be carrying a gun like we are now. You're awful calm about this, Hoshino. If I didn't know better, I'd guess that you... I never guessed that you'd only been on the job for half a year. Really? Yeah, when I joined the force, I was a lot more reckless. I was pretty much a daredevil after all. Even now, I think you're too bold. Sorry, I guess I should say hardworking. Nah, now all I do in the SRCPO is take complaints and apologize for them, even when people talk crap. Back then, the blood would rush to my head. You know, I've really grown up. Anyway, there's no way that the SRCPO would get to work on these X-Day cases. That's a real shame. Mochida's gazing into the distance again. He really wants to investigate the cases. Once the Quarantine Act was enacted, Shinjuku Station set up a service for residents. We've been soliciting tips on the incidents, but we're really understaffed. Special Regions Crime Prevention Office, or the SRCPO, comprises of officers from many areas. We mainly deal with calls like the one earlier, or unverified claims, and we also patrol Shinjuku to keep the peace. Mochida and I were transferred from the local station here, so we often work together. Shinjuku is a hive of animosity and distrust, so it's not safe to go out for a leisurely stroll. Usually when we get a report, we hear about how the people don't trust the police. But it still looks like there are some people who rely on the police. You're right. We shouldn't keep that granny waiting long. Let's go. Yes, sir! I also do like in this game, too, they don't shy away that the police have done a lot of terrible things. And also, there are good people. That does not help when there's a lot of bad apples in the basket, though. I'm sure it's just another guy hanging around that creeped her out for no particular reason. But this music is super loud. Gotta turn this music down. Why is it still... Why is it so loud? It's on the low setting. Okay. goes down just a little. But whenever you hear her out, that old lady looks really relieved. Well, she lives alone, so I don't think she has anyone else to count on. She looks kind of scary, but sometimes she talks about her grandchild. I'm sure she's actually a really kind person. Probably seems that way to you when you're the one talking to her. You're good at listening to children and elderly people. Not me. I want to cut them off and make them get to the point. I have to agree, Mochi does pretty much exactly like that. Hey, Hoshino, this is where you're supposed to deny it. Oh, sorry. Seriously, man, you're my subordinate. You're supposed to back me up. That hurts. Mochida's my superior, but he always treats me like we're equals, so I really feel like I can be myself around him. I thought the police force would have a strict pecking order, so that's a big relief. Though I'd never admit that to his face. Hey, are you the cops? You seem to have a lot of awful free time. Hmm? Turned to face the voice behind me. A vexed man with a gun glared at me. It's because you cops are so incompetent that we got trapped here in Shinjuku. Get on your knees and apologize to us. You'll accept your punishment, right? Or... Oh no! You raised a gun at me! Cut the crap. Ow! Mochida swiftly closed the distance and disarmed the man with an arm lock. Damn you, let him go! Threatening someone with a gun has a harsh penalty. You still want to give it a shot? That's... So what? You think I care about that? I won't make any excuses for what happened. You can probably tell I'm just playing around. Still, I don't see any reason for a cop like me to endure treatment like this. Anyway, find a better way to vent your anger that doesn't involve hurting other people. That gun was given to you for your self-defense. It's not to be used as an offensive weapon. Perhaps cowed by Mochida's words, they reluctantly lowered their weapons. Good! The sun's going down now, so leave her alone and run on home. Mochida returned the gun he took from the man and shooed them off. Don't pull that on civilians, you hear me? Don't ever do that again. The trio retreated quietly and Mochida turned to me. Sorry, Hoshino, those guys. I know, we'll overlook this, won't we? There's no shortage of people who harbor that kind of animosity towards the police. Thank you, Glossary. Obstructing an officer is a jail offense, though they're not exactly wrong for blaming the police and creating the situation. Mochida must have felt the same way, so he chose to simply let them go with a warning. I recorded the firearm number for their guns. Oh, thanks. I don't think those guys are bad people. One of them still had a safety on anyway. Still, you matured as a cop. You're calm when someone draws a gun on you. Yes, it's kind of weird to say that I'm used to it, but I can assess the situation now. Once the swords and firearms law got repealed, I would tremble if I was drawn on. Despite my training at the police academy, I lost my nerve several occasions when someone pointed a gun at me in hostility. But every time that happened, Mochida stepped in and protected me. It's all thanks to you, Mochida. Watching you handle yourself like you did just now has eased my fear of guns quite a bit. Something you naturally get used to once you've experienced it. Besides, when situations like this arise, I gotta stick up for my subordinate. Mochida puffed out his chest and then let out a carefree laugh. He relaxed like an easygoing uncle, but he's my reliable superior. Nice choice for the colors with bold text, yeah. Oh, I got pinged. Okay. Sorry, Robin was telling me something. Alrighty. Returning to the station, I could hear the stirrings of commotion. Who did they drag in this time? I don't even remember who they drag in this time. It has been so long since I played this game. I could probably pull up my Vita and see when I last played this. Oh, crime rates in Shinjuku are at a record high. Most of them are first-time offenders. I mean, civilians haven't accepted things yet. It's been 3 months, man. As long as there are people willing to dirty their hands, there will also be wannabe heroes. Heroes, huh? Last month, a criminal claimed responsibility for X-Day and started shooting randomly. Bystanders gunned him down, and the incident ended without any innocent victims, but there was talk of thank yous and rewards, and more people started to do the same. The criminal died from his wounds, but investigators found no connection between him and X-Day. The theory was that he was a copycat criminal. Due to this incident, however, the number of people actively carrying guns increased. There are some who praise the citizens taking matters into their own hands, but normally our job would be to bring the guy in. Despite all that. Officer Mochida, we don't know who might be listening. Oh yeah, I also remember there's some girls in this where it's like, damn, they are real nice, I'd like to date them, but we don't get to do that. Mochida looked around and made a sour expression. He lowered his voice. Sorry, I know the brass said to suck it up, but this is just so half-assed. I know how you feel. I'm just as impatient as you are. As a police officer, I also want to help solve the X-Day cases. All I can do is lend an ear to the civilians and then turn to the SRCPO. That's all I can do. Yeah, too bad. Hoshino, I have some business with the local planning office. Can you go on ahead? Yes, sir. I parted ways with Mochida and soon came across a familiar face. Good work to say, Sayaki. There's Yuzuru Sayaki. Hey, Hoshino, same to you. Are you off today? Not yet. I was just on my way to file a report. We attended the academy together and became friends when we were out drinking. He also got assigned to the same office, so we're drinking and venting buddies. What about you, Sayaki? Nope, I'm also stuck here writing a report. Same as you. By the way, we're still on for drinking tomorrow, right? Yeah, I have a lot of things I want to ask you. What? More therapy sessions? You've had it rough since you joined the SRCPO. Back at the academy, you were always so fired up. You wanted to make a difference by catching even one more criminal. Well, back then, I would have never imagined things would have turned out this way. Hey, I'm not saying that I don't like that passionate side of you. I suppose all that passion went out when the SRCPO service window, though. No, it didn't. My feelings haven't changed from back then. Oh, there's that spirit again. Yep, that's how you should be. Without thinking, I flashed a smile in response to Sayaki's grin. I feel a little bit more relaxed now. Sayaki knows just the right thing to say when my mind's like this. He's a big reason why I can stay optimistic in this job, despite all the dilemmas I face. Well, I was just wondering who you were talking to, Sayaki, huh? Good work today, Officer Mochida. Yeah, you off now? No, I still need to follow up on some work. Have a good evening! Sayaki bowed slightly towards Mochida and then gave me a look. Good luck! Yeah, thanks. You two get along pretty well. You're going drinking tomorrow, right? Did I mention that? Sayaki did about a week ago, I think. He came by and told me you were going out, so I wouldn't give you overtime. Sorry, Sayaki's a little too straightforward sometimes. Well, times like this, you gotta stretch your wings a bit. Go have fun. I will. After I handed off my report to Mochida, I suddenly remembered something. I should stop by before I head home. When I have even a little bit of free time, I practice at the station shooting range. I want to improve my skills just a bit in case they're needed. Plus, shooting helps calm my nerves and deal with my anxiety. I take a firing stance and take a deep breath. My hands used to shake just holding it. Even when firing on static targets, I was reluctant to hold a weapon for killing people. I was afraid. The day that I dispelled that hesitation during training one day at the academy. Oh, you're still here. Your face says something's bothering you again. Sayaki, I don't think I'm suited for this job after all. I'm just shooting a target now, but what if it were a real person? I know I missed in that situation. Hoshino, what do you think that gun is for? For catching criminals, right? That again. Aren't you being a bit too hard-headed? I believe that gun is so we can shoot to protect. Not just anyone can do it. Police officers have to be trained to do so. Shooting to protect. You could catch a hostage taker when he lowers his guard, or immobilize a fleeing criminal. You can do that with accurate marksmanship. But if you don't have the conviction and the skill to shoot, you might let hostages die. Criminals could escape and commit more crime. It isn't a killing weapon. You shoot to protect. Can't you try and think of it that way? Yeah, you're right. The reason we're issued guns is because we're responsible for protecting people. Yeah. Besides, Hoshino, I think that's because we're allowed to carry guns. We need to be ready for the worst. Worst case scenario. You mean where we might have to kill to protect the innocent? Yeah, you have to be prepared to take a life in order to protect the lives of the others. If it were to come down to that, would you have what it takes to shoot? After listening to his words, I understand the weight of the weapon meant to Saeki. For him, this was not just a killing tool, it was a means to protect people. I shouldn't hold a gun without the resolve, and a police officer must be ready to shoot. After that, I devoted myself to training. As Saeki said, conviction alone was worthless. Without marksmanship, the gun would still be a killing weapon. To make sure that I would be able to protect, I've been training at the range daily. My skills have improved dramatically, and in fact my marksmanship is my greatest skill. Of course, I doubt my performance in the field will mirror the skill in training. I will never know when that time will come, but the key moment comes, I don't want regrets. As long as Shinjuku stays this way, as long as the X-Day incidents are unsolved, I get the feeling that I'll need to be ready. Aim my pistol again and raise my head. So there's a very small shooting minigame where you have to actually hit the button to shoot it, but I thought I did. There we go. Good, that's it. So you can actually fail these and get various different bad ends. Like, there's some very disturbing bad ends you can get if you miss the shot. Before I knew it, an hour had passed. In the end, all my shots had performed in tight groupings in the center, and I let out a deep sigh. Some fine shooting as expected. Whoa! Surprised by the sudden voice behind me, I spun around, startled. Saeki, you still haven't left? I got bogged down with work. I figured I'd step out for a breather and saw that you were here. Oh, were you watching this whole time? You should have said something. You were concentrating pretty hard, so I didn't want to interrupt. Besides, I was enjoying it. Huh? I like watching you shoot. Helps me relax. It's cathartic, I guess? What the heck? Should I be happy to hear that? Of course, it's a compliment. I respect you. I respect that you're a hard worker and that you try and improve yourself for the future. Where's this suddenly coming from? You won't get anything out of flattering me. He's always confident, so something felt off. Saeki let us smoke charcoal in an attempt to deflect my embarrassment. You've always been passionate. You started coming here more once the weapons ban got lifted a few months ago, right? Yeah? As he said, it was around then. He knew even though I hadn't spoken about it. I definitely intensified my training after the weapons ban was lifted. Because this hunk of metal, which a trained police officer needed conviction to wield, had been distributed to the untrained masses. The world had turned into a place where the people would half-jokingly draw guns on other people, just as those men had done earlier today. You can probably tell I'm just playing around. Still, I don't see any reason for a cop like me to endure treatment like this. Anyway, find a better way to vent your anger that doesn't involve hurting people. The gun was given to you for self-defense. It's not used as an offensive weapon. When I remembered Mochida's words, the pistol felt heavier than ever. It's not just something to be taken lightly. I'm sure there are many citizens, baffled by the government's policy, felt similarly. Some objected to the distribution of guns, but now some people have will obviously use them, and not just for self-defense. I don't know what they were thinking when they decided to make civilians carry this burden. I have the conviction to shoot. I'm a cop, so that's my responsibility. I have to fulfill my duty no matter what, but... people who haven't readied themselves now have the power to kill someone with a trigger pull. Yeah, I think that's weird too. The fact that we could carry guns set us apart. We were trained to defend the law and had guns to uphold it. I see what you're saying. Even if the government says this is for self-defense, I think this is wrong. People who run the country don't want to talk about what they've done here. I'm in no position to protest it, but I can't approve of a world where people are suddenly made to wield a weapon. Words alone aren't enough. When the moment comes, my skills need to prevent civilians from ever having to use their guns. Yeah, I won't lag behind you, though I don't think I'd be able to beat you now. You always had a gift for marksmanship. Saiki strolled away with a bright laugh. As I watched him, he looked back at me with a vague smile. Hey, Hoshino, when a criminal is right in front of you, you're prepared to shoot to protect, right? Yeah? I could now resolutely answer the question he had asked me before. I returned Saiki's smile and settled upon a firing stance with my gun. I pulled the trigger without hesitation, as if to demonstrate my determination. Conviction was carved into my heart. It's the 5th! I left the station and walked home when a brisk wind made me shiver. Oh, that's cold. Why is this so loud? I don't remember this game being so loud. That's not it. There we go. Even through a muffler and thick coat, December chills stung my body. My breath exited my body as a tiny white cloud, and I glanced at the nearby buildings, loud and clear. This place sure has changed. Shinjuku used to be bustling day and night. Nowadays, it was mostly empty after nightfall. Why do I keep getting notifications? Oh, it's Makari going, hey, something's on sale. Thank you, Makari. Much of society has stopped functioning when Shinjuku became quarantined. Shops, schools, utilities continued to work to the government's satisfaction, but everything else was non-existent. So long as the criminals remained at large, there would always be uneasiness here. It's hard to tell if people lived their normal lives in this situation. You couldn't just visit friends anymore. You had the weight of it being targeted. People didn't know whether they or their loved ones would be the next victims, but they had to go on living somehow. It's hard to put into words just how much I missed life before the quarantine. I realize I'm not the only one who has come to this realization. I hurriedly took out my phone, which was displaying Mochida's name. Did he have a problem with my report? Wondering what I'd do if I was asked to return, I answered the call. Yes, this is Hoshino. Hoshino. Yeah. Sorry to call you back to work, but it's urgent. Sounds like there's trouble in Shinjuku Garden. Shinjuku Garden? Anyone hearing that name would be wary. Next day incidents in August, Shinjuku Garden was the scene of a crime and the epicenter of much public fear. It should be closed off to the public. Given the site, we can't rule out the connection to the X-Day cases. Most of the officers from the police boxes are out on other business, so they've asked us to respond to the situation. Acknowledged, I'll head there right away. We don't know who or what we're dealing with. Stand by until I get there, you hear me? I know, I won't act on my own. I think there's actually a choice here where if I screw up, I die. I think there's one really early on, actually. I ended the call and hastily made my way over to Shinjuku Garden. When I arrived, I quickly scouted the area and assessed the situation. Yep, that's a garden, alright. Nobody's here. The area was dark and visibility was poor. It'd be tough for me to tell if anyone was laying an ambush in there. In any case, I drew my sidearm. I'd gotten the habit of always carrying my weapon, and I had practiced often, but I never actually used it in the field. So to be honest, I was nervous. Still, if I was confronted with someone who intended to take the lives of others, I would... I can't hesitate. While cautiously eyeing my surroundings, I approached the sealed gate of the Shinjuku garden. Why isn't Mochida here yet? Seems like it was taking him an awful long time to get to Shinjuku garden. I wonder if he's gotten in some trouble. While I was debating whether to call him, I heard the sound of footsteps approaching. Is that Mochida? I turned around. I felt something push against my waist and then a shock coursed through my body. I've been tased. Ugh. I opened my eyes and saw a flickering light. Where am I? I tried to get up, but my body was numb and unresponsive. I couldn't move. What's going on? I tried to move my head to at least get a sense of my surroundings. Something's there. I felt a strange pressure on my neck. I wanted to check what it was, but I couldn't even raise my hands. Oh, why? It's as if my body wasn't my own. Still, I gradually regained the use of my hands and timidly felt my neck. Is this a collar? I grew pale as I felt a metallic coldness. What is this? What's it doing on me, and what am I doing here? I looked around as I saw the floor around me covered with what looked like red flowers. Flowers scarlet like blood. That's not suspicious. Looking up, I could see the moonlight cascading through the stained glass. Am I in a church? My body was paralyzed for reasons unknown. I was wearing an unfamiliar collar, yet the ephemeral beauty of the stained glass dominated my attention for the moment. Where have I seen this stained glass? You appear to finally be awake, Miss Hoshino. The voice was close. It was from the caller. I'm sure you were surprised to suddenly find yourself here. I very much wanted to speak to you in private, so I arranged to have you collected in this manner. Who are you? Did you put this collar on me? Why did you... I cannot give you the answer to those questions at this time. Regardless, you will eventually arrive at our humble abode. What do you mean? You have been chosen as a test subject. Henceforth, you will be closely monitoring... we will be closely monitoring your actions until X Day. When you execute your own form of justice, I promise we will meet. Not like this, but in person. What is your goal? What experiment? What have you done to me? Quiet now, or else you'll die, you know. Okay, I'm pretty sure I can talk here and die, so... The collar currently around your neck contains a lethal poison. Poison? The dose currently in your bloodstream has a delayed effect. It is not a lethal dose. It'd be a problem if you died here. Let's be noisy. I think I remember I actually did that, and then I died, and I'm like, oh shoot, I gotta redo the prologue. They say their goal isn't to kill me. That's why I'm in a paralyzed state. I have no idea what they're up to. Everything I learned only made me more tense. Still, as a police officer, I couldn't just sit and quietly take this. After all, the voice coming from the caller mentioned something about X Day. I have to investigate further. I need to at least get some useful information so I can report it. Oh, please do not speak of this to the police. We like to avoid taking drastic measures. And surely, you'd feel quite lonely if you were to lose those dear to you, right? I don't know how much this criminal knows about me, but if they're going to threaten the people close to me, I won't forgive you. I'll never forgive this. We hope that you're being truthful, but we have no interest in impotent self-righteousness. What we seek are noble intentions. The world is full of malice, and collars, and vague laws, but ideals are clear and formless justice. Will learning the truth change your struggle? Will you leave your birth with us? We look forward to learning your answer. Now, show us, Ichika Hoshino. Show us what justice means to you. Or maybe it's the next chapter you can talk and immediately die. I remember it was one of those. I'm like, wait, no! Don't kill me yet! I do remember all the boys actually had fairly good stories. I don't remember actually hating any of them. I'm trying to remember who was exactly my favorite. I know I like Donut Boy. I like Kay because he had a Roomba that ran away from him. Shiraichi's fine. I remember he was fine. Yanagi was fine. I remember I like Donut Boy and Kay the most though. They had the most fun routes to me. Passed out on the floor. Just staring at me all day. Wonder how much time had passed. Despite that's a weird word. Despite my entreaties, the collar was silent. My body was still paralyzed, and worse, I felt it was getting harder and harder to breathe. They said it wasn't a lethal dose. I don't know if that was true. At this rate, if nobody finds me soon. That thought suddenly crossed my mind and my vision grew dark. Oh no, I'm passing out. I'm scared. Somebody help me. Hello. You there. Hey, keep it together. Okay. Somebody found me. Perhaps I would be saved. Clinging to that shred of hope, I looked up the man in front of me. Hello, Yanagi. How's it going? You're clearly not the secret route in this game. Who are you? Don't force yourself to talk. I've been looking for you. Sorry, we're setting up the table. You're fine. Me? We know what happened to you. Hang in there. Everything will be okay. It'll be alright. We got you. Okay. Once hearing those words, my crippling terror began to subside a bit. However, some doubts stubbornly remained. They were looking for me, and they know what's happened to me. How do they know? How do they know I was here? After that realization, my would-be savior suddenly turned out to be much more frightening. I think it's actually I'm actually more interested in the mystery man than who needs to be a husband. Okay, wait, okay. One thing I actually do really like about this game is we can actually talk to the guy that was in the collar. And we can get an ending with him where we actually work with them, which I think is really neat. We have the standard love routes, and then we have the work with the criminals route. Well, not exactly work with the criminals route, but work with the criminals ending. Are you afraid of me? Maybe a little bit. You must have seen the change in my expression. The man looked at me and then... This is just like that other time. He seemed kind of sad as he murmured that, so I couldn't take my eyes off him. Why is he making that face? But this time, I'll be sure to. Couldn't quite catch the end of his whisper. This voice. For instance, something clicked in my mind. I'd seen these sorrowful eyes somewhere. The voice filled me with deep calm. This should have been our first meeting, but I felt like these qualities were very familiar. Who are you? Just as I opened my mouth to voice that question.
Yanagi-senpai!
Yanagi! Oh, she's the one. Yeah, see that collar? No doubt about it. Enomoto, did you bring the notice? Yeah, here. The man lifting me in his arms took what appeared to be a letter from the man wearing an eye patch. This is a notice that was addressed to us. He unfolded the sheet so I was able to see it. Still passed out, but lifting the paper so you could read it. As part of the X-Day countdown, a woman will be poisoned to death on the 6th of December at 12 a.m. There is only one way to save her. You must enter the unlock code given below into the collar the woman is wearing. Furthermore, if the police are notified, we will kill the woman immediately. Even if you save the woman, you are not to speak of the collar. We will be monitoring your actions through the collar. Should you violate any of these terms, you will be placing her life in jeopardy. Heed this warning well. X-Day countdown? Why me? Well, can't you think of some reason they'd be targeting you? Huh? Shut up, idiot. We don't have time for this. Sasazuka's right. We can wait until we've neutralized the toxin. But that could be a trap. Enomoto, I won't repeat myself. Her life is at stake. Okay. You. Honestly, I don't know if I could trust any of these people. At this rate, I don't want to die without even trying. I made up my mind and prepared to speak. If there's a way to stop it, please help me. Yeah, looks like we need to enter the code here. The man touched somewhere on my collar while supporting my body weight. Ugh. Thought I was ready, but I was still scared. Not knowing what'll happen, I squeezed my eyes shut. Just hold a little bit longer, you'll be okay. I was standing on the border of life and death. I had no idea whether I'd draw another breath. What a strange situation. I want to trust this man. No, that thought formed in my mind. Ow! I let out a gasp as the collar lanced me. Did we screw up? Yanagi, what's happening? I heard their anxious voices worried that darkness had claimed me. But I felt something change. I can move. I slowly opened my eyes. The man holding me exhaled a sigh of relief. It looks like it worked. Yeah, I can feel my body again. Really? Make it more obvious next time. Thanks, Sasazuka. Sorry. When I felt the pain in my neck, I thought I was done for, but it seems like I made it. Breathing had finally become easier, so I patted my chest in relief. Her color's looking better than it was earlier. Yanagi, it seems like the collar contained the antidote. Most likely. Yanagi, was it? Thank you for saving my life. I was still woozy, but I managed to stand up and bow to him. No, I didn't do it alone. They've been running all over looking for you. I turned to look at the other two as Yanagi mentioned them. Thank you. Enough, who cares? We need to know why the criminals picked you. That's what I'm here for. Sorry, I'd like to give you an answer, but I honestly have no idea. As if we can simply accept that you were almost killed. There's obviously a reason they tried to kill you specifically. Anyone can see that. What? Why is he being so hostile towards me? I can't just accept that you guys showed up out of the blue either. It's not like I automatically trust you now. I'm grateful you rescued me, but how exactly did you get that notice about my situation in the first place? Hey, I'm the one asking questions here. I can't just give intel while we don't know your relationship to the criminals. Easy, Takeru. I can see your point, but take it down a bit. Yanagi, what are you doing? Someone dropped a gun here. The criminals, or maybe... Ah, that's mine! I see. It's unusual for people to be carrying guns around here. Isn't this a police model? It is. How'd you know that? I used to be a police officer. Huh? Yanagi let out a chuckle when he saw my jaw drop. If you don't believe me, feel free to look me up. IG Yanagi, former investigation, section 1. Section 1 at the HQ? That would be very easy to verify, so it's unlikely that he's lying. Plus, you dropped your notebook along with your gun. It's pretty obvious to anyone that you're with the police. While Yanagi talked, I opened up my police notebook. Ichika Hoshino. Excuse me? Right. Sorry. I took my gun and my notebook back from Yanagi. I was going to ask them once again, but my phone began to vibrate. Ah, pardon me. That's right, Mochida was... Who's it from? My superior... I was attacked when we were supposed to meet up in response to a call. And you shouldn't stay here long. We'll continue this another time elsewhere. Right. Sounds like we won't have time to chat. Are we just cutting her loose? Well, it'd be tough to hide her. Even if we took her captive, it'd just draw suspicion to her, wouldn't it? Sasazuka, I understand your concerns, but it doesn't seem like her fear is just an act. Nah. If she's just a victim, then we aren't the only ones here who want to know the truth. I nodded earnestly as he turned toward me. I want to know what happened here too. I just hate being kept in the dark like this. Sasazuka, she's a police officer, she won't run. All the X-Day victims to date have been killed without exception. She's the only one so far that gave us a way to save. Even if she's a cop, this is still suspicious. But Yanagi doesn't suspect her. Correct, I see no reason to suspect her right now. Well, I don't see any reason to trust her either. Well, it seems like we should just let her go for the time being, right? If she goes missing now, that'll arouse suspicion, and that would be bad for her, so... Fine, I get it. If she tries to vanish, we'll just track her down and make her talk. Like I said, I'm not running! Hoshino, we'll come get you later. For now, could you wait at Shinjuku Station? I'm sure you'll be able to relax better there. Yeah. Hearing the tinge of concern in Yanagi's voice made me feel a little better. Though the man they called Sasazuka remained thoroughly suspicious of me. I didn't feel any of that from Yanagi. Last one was Enomoto, right? Not sensing much from him. Became aware of someone observing me. What? He's just watching me! The notice said not to expose the existence of the caller, didn't it? You don't look very bright. I bet you find a way to get yourself killed on your... Thing is, he is not wrong. I did right off the bat. What? That's enough, Sasazuka. Poison was neutralized, and the collar is still around her neck. Just be careful. Besides, they did say they'd be monitoring everything through the collar. Hoshino. As I turned to respond, Yanagi took my muffler and proceeded to cover the collar by wrapping the muffler around my neck. We don't know what the criminals want, so you should keep that hidden even at the station. Understood. Then we'll be heading out first. The criminals might still be lurking around. Hurry up and rendezvous with your superior. Yeah. Eye patch guy reminds me of Imp, and the wavy boy reminds me of someone from Yu-Gi-Oh! Oh no, I can see it. Why am I being pinged? Oh, it's an update from Placid Plastic Duck Simulator. Okay. After I watch the three of them leave, I look at my phone. Mochida's been calling me repeatedly. Checking the time, it saw that 2 hours had passed. Hoshino! I think right here is where I can actually just tell him about the collar and I immediately die. Where have you been? I couldn't reach you. I thought you gotten caught up in an incident. Sorry I made you worry. You're pretty responsible, so I know you wouldn't stop answering your phone. I knew you wouldn't just stop answering your phone. Something happened? Pretty sure it's related to X-Day, so I should probably report what happened. I don't know what'll happen if I talk. Practice a decision, I decide to let's pull the trigger. Let's just die in front of this man and change the course of his life forever. I should act like a police officer. This might be risky for me, but we might be able to learn something that leads to the people tied to the collar. Making up my mind, I open up my mouth. Mochida, look at this. When I removed the muffler and showed the collar, Mochida tilted his head. Is that a collar? Yes, while I was waiting for you, I was ambushed, and then when I woke up, this collar had been put on me. What? Who did this? Did you see their face? Why would you... Why would anyone... I believe the culprit's tied to the X-Day cases. If we examine this collar, we might be able to... I felt a sharp pain in my neck and my vision immediately went black. Hoshino? What's the matter? Get it together! It was hard to breathe. I couldn't talk. I couldn't see anything. Mochida's voice grew distant. All my senses are failing. Oh, I still... When you execute your own form of justice, I promise we will meet. Not like this, but in person. I still haven't... I screwed up on the first choice! The end! Let's not talk about it. Still haven't learned anything.
No.
Don't be a dumbass and talk about the collar. They still might be listening, so I shouldn't speak carelessly. They said they'd be observing throughout the collar. Actually, on the way to Shinjuku Garden, I came across a male student using a dog for target practice. I thought that stuff had finally died down recently, but I suppose it still happens. When the weapons ban was lifted, all the young people wanted to try out their weapons in spite of the coded tracking system. Mochida knew this was happening, so it seemed like he believed me. Oh, hold on a second. Be right back. Hello. Sorry, I had a package come in the mail, so I was just picking that up. It was just a charm. I want you to know this was happening, so it seemed like you believed me. So, what happened with the student? Did you talk him down? It seems like he had some pent-up stress related to his home life. I got his parents involved and talked it out. It seems like he understood he was wrong. Just to be safe, I think I should swing by and check on them for a few days. Yeah, that'd be good. A lot of those guys regret what they did after they calmed down. Yeah. As long as he didn't pull the trigger, there's still time for him to change. You saved a young man who lost his way. Good job! That's not right at all. You were just trying to reach me for a long time. What should I apologize for making you worry? Really, there's no excuse for it. Stifling my deep guilt, I bowed my head. Hey, as long as you're alright, it's fine. I was running pretty late too. Really? Yeah. Somehow I managed to misplace my keys to the patrol car. Mochida. I was honestly a little shocked to realize how easy it was to imagine the scenario. It's not like that, I'm perfectly organized. Probably. Uh-huh. Mochida was kinda clumsy, so it wasn't that unusual for him to lose things. While I was caught up in this mess, he was trying to find his keys. That thought made me exhausted. I'd hauled ass to get over here, you know, but by the time I arrived, there weren't any suspicious people in the area. The report about a scuffle might have just been a prank call. That's true. But just to be on the safe side, let's do a round in the car before we go back. There might be some hooligans like that one guy you found earlier trying to flee the area. Yes, sir. After that, we drove around in a while in Mochida's patrol car. We didn't see any fleeing youths around, nor did we discover anyone or anything that seemed to be related to X-Day. The next day, at 2 in the morning. Back at the station, I went to file the report. Picked up a pen and tried putting it to paper, but my hand won't move. Working in the SRCPO, listening to citizens, writing reports, that was my daily life. But the X-Day cases, even in this office, I've never had direct contact with them. We've only provided info to investigations. Still, raised my hand to feel my neck. It really happened. Nothing felt wrong with my body anymore, but the collar put the fear of death into me. According to those criminals, they're monitoring me right now. One misstep could cost me my life. That thought made my hands tremble. I can't think that way. They could suspect this thing happened. Just need to act normal. Just have to do what I always do. Just as I psyched myself up, I suddenly remembered that voice. It'll be alright, we've got you! It'll be alright, he said. His strong voice repeated in my head. That's right, he's Eiji Yanagi, a former cop. I should verify his story. I turned on the monitor to my PC and clicked the icon to access the database restricted to police personnel. Detailed information will be classified, but I can find out where he was assigned. I selected the search field and typed in Yanagi IG. Oh, Shino! Whoa! Turned around in a panic. Sayaki was standing right there. Sayaki! I quickly moved my mouse and frantically closed the search page. You're still at work! Am I not supposed to be? There was an urgent call earlier, so I got sent out to respond to it. Oh, that's right. I remember that Mochida had mentioned that. So, now I have to write another report. So I've been stuck at work this whole time. Really long day, huh? Yeah, speaking of which, you're still here. I thought you left a long time ago. I got caught up in something too. Though it wasn't of anything import. Need to write a report on what happened, so I came back to the station. Sounds like a rough day all around. Sure are a lot of calls today, don't you think? Well, I won't keep you any further. I just saw you and popped in to say hi. You aren't bothering me at all. You actually cheered me up a bit. Mochida, Sayaki, they're the same constant, reliable people that they've always been. Now that I'm in this crazy situation, I'm especially glad that those two are always there for me. Well, that's nice of you to say, but there are late nights taking but if the late nights are taking a toll on you, why not ask Mochida to let you off earlier? No, I don't think I need to. I'm just throwing the idea out there. Despite his looks, Mochida's a pretty reliable guy. Besides, you look pretty beat. Huh. Don't try to fool a colleague's eyes. Let's see. You haven't had dinner, have you? I had a light meal. Well, it obviously wasn't enough. Your body needs to feel that it needs to do the hard work. You gotta eat enough and you gotta eat right. Sayaki, I'm not a pig like you. A pig? Rude? I'm not that fat, you know. Sayaki appraised his belly fat level while grousing at me. Hey, don't laugh. Work is always intruding on my life, so I have to pay attention to my figure. Sure. And when you get fat, I'll be a good friend and let you know. You guys are mean. That goes the same for you too. I won't mince words. Be ready for it. After leveling that parting shot, Sayaki jogged off. Oh, poor Sayaki. I could still laugh while talking to Sayaki. Classmate bonds are powerful. Nothing has changed. I felt like I could at least look ahead now. Turned back to my workstation and entered Yanagi IG once again. There he is. He apparently started in the local jurisdiction and was assigned to Headquarters Investigation Section 1 4 years ago. So he really did work in Investigation Section 1. But he quit the force this year. He's 28. He should have had a long career ahead. None of the available information on him indicated any problems would come up. He seems like he collected the most of the, seems like the most collected of the three, like somebody you can count on. Frankly speaking, I don't want to believe he was involved in anything related to X-Day. But all the X-Day incidents so far have been large events using video sharing sites. Why would they give advance notice to specific people? Still don't know why they targeted me, so Sasazuka's suspicions on me aren't baseless. There was too much I didn't know. There's only so much I can learn on my own. I need to talk to Yanagi and the others. I didn't know when Yanagi's group would get me, so I texted my little brother to say I might have to stay at the station overnight. I'm sorry, but I'm still thinking it was quite convenient for Mochida to have misplaced his keys, so I think it's not accidental. That's fair. After I turned my report into Mochida, I began drowsily nodding off at my desk. I've come to escort you, my captive princess. Oh, I guess you're Sleeping Beauty now. Huh? Oh, it's you! It's like, when does he come into play? I looked in the direction of the voice and gazed upon the man in the white coat. You are... I'm sorry. I should have introduced myself first. This is Shiraishi. My name is Kageyuki Shiraishi. I run the field ops support team for Shinjuku Station. Nice to meet you, Miss... Oh, hello, I'm Ichika Hoshino, Special Regions Crime Prevention, Local Office. A creep! Ah, right, that was your name. I've heard that the CSI have been temporarily assigned to Shinjuku Station to deal with the X-Day cases. So he's one of them. Seki told me before that the field operations support team, aka the field support, was full of eccentrics. Those hair clips, the cat tie pin... He does look rather odd. Why is the field support coming to talk to the SRCPO? I don't think there's anything here for field support to pick up. As I said, I'm here to pick you up. Huh? What? You still don't get it. Okay, I guess I'll have to use my last resort. Shiraishi then mouthed the word to me without making a sound. Caller. My mind immediately came to a halt. Oh, hello. I thought this happens in your route. I completely forgot there's a CG for this here. Not another word. You wanna die? Quiet or else you'll die, you know. A creep! Right at the voice from before, I start trembling. You're trembling! How cute. But you can relax now. You won't die, even though I know. My job is to take you over to their hideout. Finally understand what Yanagi meant when he said they'd come and get me. So, there's more than the 3 of them, and they have somebody in the station working with them. You're probably feeling hesitant. After all, you're in a pretty odd situation. Hey, how does it feel to know that you could basically die any moment? Come on, tell me. Tell you? The man flashed a pretty smile, but I sensed something unfathomable from him. Is this really something someone would ask, knowing the situation I'm in? My speechlessness only seemed to cause Hiraishi to grin and widen. Well, tell me. Aw, too bad. It sounds so interesting. Interesting? This is the last thing I'd call this. Oh, really? But think about it. It's not every day you get to come face to face with death. So, I'm really interested in you. Buddy, no! I want to lock you up and study you all day. How many weirdos have I had in Otome games like this? That's supposed to be a joke, right? Thing is, he is so weird off the bat, and then, like, his ending is so emotional. Who can say? The suggestive smiley finally go on my finger. Well, let's go see Yanagi. When you're ready, come to field support. Street order action now. That's fair. Without waiting for my response, Hiraishi left. What in the world was that? As I started to think, I touched my neck. I won't solve anything sitting here and just thinking I need to meet up with Yanagi's group. I get ready to leave and proceeded to head over to the door with the plate that read Field Operations Support. Took a deep breath and knocked.
Hi.
Yes. Female voice answered. I remember you being nice. Sorry for the wait. Can I help you? Good evening. I'm Ichika Hoshino from the Special Regions Crime Prevention Office. And then these characters are somewhat appreciated by women. I don't know actually if Shiraishi has a very big fan base for the Collar and Malice one. I know Kei does. Kei has a very huge fan base. I know Takeru has a very big fan base. I know Yanagi's is Enomoto is a small one. I think Shiraishi probably is the lowest of everyone. It's rather unusual for the SRCPO to come knocking here. Eriko! I'm Eriko Mukai. I take care of Director Shiraishi. As in, I punch him. Director, that guy's actually a big shot. And... oh, I have some business with Mr. Shiraishi. Is he in? The director? One moment, please. Mukai disappeared into the room and then... Director, you have a guest. It's rude to make her wait, so you better get out here right now. You're awfully rude. Who said I take... Who says... who would you say takes care of whom? Oh, was that unbecoming of me? But it's the truth. Yes, we'll just leave it at that. Yeah, to be honest, I wish we could date with him. Well then, we'll be off. Good work today, Mukai. And you too, sir. Excuse us. While I walked together, Shiraishi simply looked forward silently. We hadn't known each other very long, so we didn't have much to discuss. But the awkwardness on top of the situation was getting agonizing, so I tried to initiate small talk with him. So, Miss Mukai called you director back there at the station. Yeah, it's just a rank. You cops have them too, don't you? Like officer, sergeant, or inspector. People at the crime lab work for the police, but they aren't police officers. So that didn't explain how Shiraishi became a director. Might have been impolite to Shiraishi when he came to the SRCPO. Oh, I might have been impolite to Shiraishi. But he was acting really weird. What's wrong? It's nothing. Are you that surprised I'm a director? Not at all, I was just surprised. Oh, oops. Oh, really? A shady-looking character like me doesn't fit your image of a director. I never said that. That just means you were thinking it, weren't you? So that's how it is, I see. You judge people based on their appearances. Well, I do the same thing, so it's not bad. Very funny, dude. I tried to lie to him, but all I did was dig my own grave. I wish he wasn't so critical of other people, too. When I heard he was director, I expected more from him, so I was a little disappointed. I know I don't like that spare. I know I wasn't super fond of him. He does get some nicer parts in his route, but for the most part, it's like, eh. Before long, we reached the intersection a good distance from the police station. When we paused for the wait signal, I heard a heavy sigh next to me. My goodness, I wish I could just keep studying you with no one else around to interrupt. Study? Felt something off about it in the moment we met, and I finally realized I was like an interesting lab subject to him. He's obviously enjoying this, while my life hangs in the balance. Determined to not be jerked around, I changed the subject. We were already outside Shinjuku Station, so I should be able to ask about the others. Hey. I won't be answering any questions about Yanagi and friends, okay? What? I was stunned that I was denied so abruptly. You surprised I read your mind? How'd you know? It's my job. I study people in order to analyze their actions. You're a profiler. Correct. I look at data to build a criminal profile as an attempt to see into their minds. That's what profiling is. Well, more and more investigations have utilized a profiler recently. Those annoying by-the-books investigators from Section 1 don't really let me do what I want. Shirashi sighed, disappointment on his face. Well, this might be perfect timing. If I don't take a break soon, I'm going to snap. Slightly frightened by Shiraishi's cheerful tone, I revisited to the topic. When you figured out what I was thinking, did you analyze me? I didn't need to do that, you're just really easy to read. That's not true. It absolutely is. The whole time we've been talking, you've been bothered by me, so you haven't been able to keep up a good conversation. I figured that you'd try and break the ice by initiating conversation. Typically, people in that frame of mind attempt to make small talk. If we worked in the same department, you try and talk shop, but we don't. The most common topic you would have been left with would be my mutual acquaintances. I'd say your most likely course of action would be to ask about my relation to Yanagi's group. It would rid the awkward silence. You'd get information you wanted. It'd be ideal. Anyway, I won't delve into any details when we meet Yanagi. Shirashi had completely unraveled my exact thought process. Kinda feels like he made a fool out of me. Oh, don't make that pouty face. Analysis is just an occupational disease of mine. Besides, I'm actually rather fond of that transparent unreservedness of yours. That can't be a compliment. That's not it at all. I guess I should say that you're so cute you're dumb. I blew past the fear and was just astonished now how thoroughly he can read my thoughts. Light changed as Shirashi walked away. I intentionally fell behind, allowing a bit of distance between us as we walked. After that, we arrived at the corner that was lined with old buildings. This area was lively earlier, but now it's utterly devoid of foot traffic, shrouded in ominous darkness. We're here. Shirashi pointed at the building with the shuttered windows on the first floor. On the 5th floor of this building, Yanagi and the others have been awaiting your arrival. I don't expect much of a welcome. Oh, you just thought I was lying, didn't you? You wounded me, madam. No, I didn't. Yeah, I was lying. Anyway, one thing before you go. What is it? Look at it be now, seeing my obvious apprehension, Shiraishi chuckled. From now on, don't think of me as your superior. Meaning... Here, there is no hierarchy of the police department. Just another member of the team. I see. Yep, well, let's go in. But wait! I darted after Shiraishi, who suddenly entered the building. Then I noticed the tenant's nameplate. 5th floor detective agency. Ah, that's just a name, don't worry about it. If you don't hurry, you'll fall behind. Yes! I hurriedly ran up the stairs after Shiraishi in a panic. And then... I set foot in my destination in the evening. You came. Just sit wherever you'd like. Okay. In the room were the three men I met in Shinjuku Garden, along with Shiraishi. Their expressions were all different, but I felt like they were all sizing me up. Couldn't help but feel unwelcome. You could cut the tension with a knife. Pardon me. At a loss what to do, I took a seat on the sofa nearest to me and watched Unagi. It seemed a bit chiller than it was during our first encounter. This atmosphere is so heavy. Just then, Shiraishi emerged from behind the partition with a cup of coffee. He set it down in front of me and then slowly took a seat next to Yanagi on the arm of the sofa. It's okay, they're all good guys despite their looks. I hope that's true. Just spit it out so we can be done with this. We don't have time to waste on you. Suzuka coldly prodded me to speak without even glancing up from the computer that he was using. You want to get out of here too, don't you? It's true, but... Now, we won't get anything out of her if you're just going to be a grouch. We came all this way to be free from prying eyes, after all. Wouldn't now be a good opportunity to examine her collar? Shiraishi, don't tell me you brought her here just for that. Huh? I sure did. What's the problem with that? I knew he was enjoying this. My gloomy mood abruptly turned into anger. I didn't have the luxury of being toyed with right now, and I was not in the mood. Oh, I hit the desk. Something fell. What fell? Okay, nothing fell. Couldn't simply trust the people who would let Shiraishi behave like this. I opened my mouth to vent my rolling indignation. Why don't we introduce ourselves first? We may very well end up working together soon. The shock from both the statement and being interrupted made my eyes go wide. Working together? What do you mean? Not answering my question, Yanagi simply laid out a sheet of paper on the table. When I picked it up, I saw it was written with the same red lettering as the earlier note. We have seen that you possess the skill to assist Ichika Hoshi. Sorry, my dad's heading to his appointment. You have the skill to assist Ichika Hoshino. She's one of our sympathizers, and a woman with the potential to inherit our will, so treat her with courtesy. Should any harm come to her, we will have no choice but to kill you all. Calling me a sympathizer and threatening them. I was racked with shock, fear, and confusion. My hands trembled, but I kept reading. The note continued. Nonetheless, we bear no ill will towards your group. On the contrary, we'd prefer to join hands. You, who question the form of righteousness that the police cling to, would surely find our concept of justice more agreeable. Of course, we do not expect you to be persuaded by mere words, so please try to grasp the truth of the X-Day incidents. Discover our true intentions. You have until midnight on January 1st. We'll be watching you via Ichika Hoshino. What on earth do these people want? Joining hands? Does that mean that these people are potentially murderers too? And there's not a word about the collar. They said that they'd be watching through me. So I'm gonna be wearing it forever? Disturbed, I put down the letter. Suzuka spoke instantly as if he was waiting for me. So, now we know there's a high probability that you're connected to the culprits. What? Don't go assuming things on your own. I raised my voice at him without thinking. But I hadn't joined the X-Day thugs at all, so I couldn't let unchecked accusations stand. Doesn't seem like she's lying. Yeah, well, you know, that's just like your opinion, man. We don't know anything for sure. Oh, that's pretty unusual for you to contradict me, Enomoto. No, I wasn't trying to criticize you, Shiraishi. It's just, there's people here who can't see through lies, that's all. We don't know what type of person she is. Enomoto looked glum, seeing that gave me a different image of him than I had earlier. They might have their own set of unfortunate circumstances, but that doesn't mean I can let them pin this all on me. We don't know what the criminals want, but... I sat on the sofa and looked at Yanagi. He nodded in understanding. We can theorize until eternity. Let's hear what she has to say first. Hoshino, could you tell us in detail what happened back in Shinjuku Garden? Yes. I mentioned the justice in this letter. When the criminals spoke to me through the collar, they were fixed on justice too. When the collar was put on me, the criminal spoke to me for a little bit. Felt like I was being interrogated. As I stated, I had no clue why I was targeted. I didn't understand the criminal's claims, and as a police officer, that I'd done no wrong. I understand what you're saying. We don't have any solid evidence that connects you to the criminals other than their word. We can't just assume you're one of them. Yanagi. Enomoto, even if she is a spy, did we reveal the intel to the criminals that would cause any problems for us? Feel free to suspect her if you want, but I feel like we won't get anywhere until we trust her. Our pursuit of the X-Day incidents is important, but we should also look at that collar of yours. Hoshino, even though it was unintentional on your part, the collar is a great lead on the criminals. I say we should make use of whatever we have. I'm also sure that you aren't going to be able to relax until we do something about it. That's true. It's actually concerned for my safety. Even though the collar and its ties to the culprits was what they were interested in, it was still very heartening to hear him actually worry about my well-being. But if you're going to examine the collar, I need to mention something. A sudden voice made itself known, directed everyone's attention to my collar. It is a futile attempt to remove the collar. If you insist on trying, we can't guarantee your safety. You're free to examine it, but if you do anything to inconvenience us, you will also be putting your life in jeopardy. Please investigate the X-Day incidents. Once you learn the truth, I'm sure you will exact your form of justice. You will learn whether or not you believe it is right to oppose our will. So, was that them just now? A warning or a threat, one might say. They bothered to wait until we'd all be gathered. They sure craved the spotlight. Hoshino, are you alright? Yeah, sorry. The criminals are monitoring everything about me through the collar. It's the first time they'd contacted me since I was paralyzed. Looks like they wanted everyone to be sure that they were watching. I started to feel like this was hopeless, and I wrung my hands in my lap. Well, working together with them is definitely off the table. Even though we all quit, we were cops once, right? I look up. You all were with the police. I did verify that Yanagi was a former officer. Enomoto, Suzuka, you two were also police officers? Well... Dumbass, should I sew your mouth shut? What? My tongue slipped! Just one slip! So it's true then. When I pressed him, Enomoto looked at Yanagi in a plea for support. We can't hide it, can we? All she has to do is look us up at the station. Right, we should get this over with. You two introduce yourselves to Hoshino. After all, we're probably going to be seeing a lot more of her from now on. Roger that. Enomoto quietly cleared his throat. He then turned to me and made eye contact. He took a deep breath. I must pose. Oh god, I forgot this. Perk up your ears and listen well. Formerly assigned to Field Ops Team 2, before you stands the Kabuki Mono rivaling Keiji Maeda. The crooks I've arrested are without number. Shining silver samurai worth 1,000 cups. A paragon standing alone neath the stars. I forgot they animated your foot slamming down, and yes, you have your fan. I heard that sound effect. And as Mineo Enomoto, don't you forget it, rookie. Uh-huh. He's a magical girl, I see. Formally. What's with all the kabuki mannerisms? Oh, he did say kabuki mono. You don't need to humor him. I don't know if he's got a talent or a condition, but he's a subject I like to observe from a distance. Uh-huh. Right. Don't mind him, Hoshino. That's just how Enomoto hides his nerves. He's a bit of an awkward guy. Paragon? Paragon of Nincompoops, more like. Oh yeah, I will not tolerate any further slights. Anyway, it's your turn, Takeru. I was in the Cyber Crimes Division, Takeru Sasazuka. That's all. Enomoto's introduction was so dynamic that this feels somewhat lacking. Thinking back to what I overheard in the office, I remember hearing about the cybercrime prevention a few times. If I recall correctly, that division was quite difficult to get into. Skills must be the real deal if he got in at his age. Anyway, it couldn't be a coincidence that everyone here was related to the police. Is the reason you all quit the force because you questioned the righteousness of the police, like the letter mentioned? I knew it was prying, but I figured might as well take the shot. So Suzuka and Enomoto averted their eyes. Maybe they didn't want to talk about it. Only Yanagi looked at me in the eyes and answered my question. It's true that we all quit for our own individual reasons. I couldn't follow the department's policy. I wouldn't be able to solve the case as a police officer. So I left and continued to pursue it on my own. I see. They obviously had their own baggage. That was why all these fellow ex-officers had gravitated towards each other to pursue the case. I can understand that much. Hey, setting you three aside for the moment, do you think the bad guys included me here when they were talking about joining hands? Shirashi spoke flippantly while waving the note around, as if to break the tense mood. Oh, right. In his own eccentric way, Shirashi had brought a very valid point. Shirashi, you still work with the police, so how did you know about all this? If the messages are to be trusted, I'll be killed if the police knows about this. Somehow, the first letter, the one that said you would die, slipped into some case files I was handling. What? They were documents I got from Section 1, but they were addressed to a detective agency. So, I, as a member of this agency, took it to the others, and then we found you. Yes, I see, Luna, you're very cute. A woman would die if the police found out, right? Obviously, I couldn't call it in. He smiled as he said that, so it seemed to me that he was more amused than concerned. It still doesn't feel right to me that the current police employee is involved here. Okay, here, hold on a second. Quick break. It seems like the girls need to go outside. Kisses to all of you. I let them out, they just wanted to sunbathe. Oh, they're back inside now. The second letter you saw just as you left, you just saw left on the table in this office after we found you at Shinjuku Garden. Huh. The first letter was a notice, and on the second was deliberately planted here after they confirmed my rescue. First letter leads me to believe that someone currently in Investigations HQ is involved, but to leave the second letter here in this office. The person who put on this collar on me come here before the others had returned. That seemed unrealistic. The culprit would have needed to track these three to avoid encountering them. What's suspicious is there's too many possibilities. But one suspicion is within my mind grew. Notice has been added to materials. Well, a lady who's been turned into a pet cat. Can we examine the collar? Huh? My head snapped to the attention as I heard Sazuka's sudden remark. Sazuka... Well, hold on a second. Why are you calling me a pet cat? Can't you see it? There's a picture of a cat on your collar. What? I didn't want people to see the collar, so I did my best to hide it. Also, one of the standard X-Day calling cards, a coin, was left at the site where you went down. Coins have the exact same cat motif on your collar, with the anemono flowers on the back. It's a symbol of the terrorist group claiming to be responsible for the X-Day, Adonis. You've probably seen it before. Yeah. I had Shiraishi examine it back at the station. It's the same as the coins we have left on the other crime scenes. But there wasn't a Roman numeral counting down to X-Day this time. If this was to be the December incident, then there should have been a 1 written there. If it was just the collar, we could have possibly dismissed this as a copycat crime. But this coin means... the perpetrator is related to the X-Day cases. Not a doubt. Don't steal my line, man! I was building up to the best part! Like I care, it's your own fault for squandering the moment. Sort of felt bad for Enomoto, but also I didn't really think this was the time. Someone related to X-Day put this collar around my neck. That means finding out who did this will be no easy task. The entire police force was investigating X-Day, and they'd gotten nowhere. There was also so much headway that I'd be able to make. On my own. So, the collar. Can we see it? So Suzuka raised his voice again, irritated. I sat there, not understanding the question. The voice from the collar said we were free to examine it. No, but isn't that a bad idea? They also said they tried to kill her if it caused any trouble for them. We'll kill her if we try to take it off. But we're also free to examine it. There's an obvious difference, idiot. So, what does that mean? It's a test. They're daring us to figure out what we can. Hello, friend playing Splatoon 3. I think the risk is too great. We don't understand how they think yet, so we shouldn't take any unnecessary risks. I won't be cracking anything. We can at least check for the type of EM waves that's coming off the collar. Wouldn't hurt just to see what kind of countermeasures they built into it. I wasn't able to keep up with this conversation at all. Yanagi, if you say to leave it, I will. We can just go back to pursuing the case. Hoshino, you can trust Sazuka. You wanna let him take a look? It's not dangerous, is it? The criminal's goal isn't to kill you. You'll be okay so long as we obey their rules. Do you understand? Yeah? They said we were free to examine the collar. As Suzuka said, they're sure we won't find them. But we should be at least able to get a sense of the general structure, because I think it'll be important. Yanagi was persuasive. They could kill me whenever they felt like it, so there had to be a reason they hadn't yet. That was a weakness we could exploit. I won't say that this is without risk. It's your life at stake, so we won't force you. Make up your mind, I'll wait 10 seconds. Are they really gonna force me or not? 10 seconds? What's wrong with this guy? Make me wait any longer and I'll decide for you. There was poison in the collar. I haven't been able to relax since it was put on. I don't know when I'll be killed. If that's the case, please do it, Sasazuka, and please don't provoke them. I had no idea how he would examine it. I didn't know anything about his skills. But I thought it was the right call because Yanagi said to be collaborating from now on. Too late, 10 seconds was up a while ago. Wow, man, you've never waited for anyone. My life is on the line after all. Please, Sasazuka. Got it. While Sasazuka was fiddling with his computer, I couldn't move a millimeter. Will the final sting of pain come? Will the collar miraculously fall free? With a grunt, Sasazuka stopped typing and the clicking in the keyboard ceased. Well, I got the gist of it. Ah, a complete failure, eh? Must be pretty sophisticated if even you couldn't deal with it, Sasazuka. Man, seriously? Tucker, didn't you get any info at all? Shut up, I said I got the gist of it. So, which is it? Sasazuka speaks vaguely when he's frustrated. It's advanced. I could penetrate the security if I was prepared to break it, but I'll die if she'll die if I do. Well, learning it's a security is impervious to you is a different type of success, yes? He does have a point. One more thing. It doesn't have a camera. Oh, that's great intel! Expected from our genius hacker Taku-kun. I'll post what you have on your PC. But please don't do that, anything but that. I don't get it at all, but Collar didn't react whatever he tried. I wouldn't die from anything he did. I could at least take relief from that at least. Still, even a programmer skilled as Sasazuka isn't able to glean any valuable information. So it won't come off easily. No need to be disappointed. That collar is connected to X-Day, so it should lead us to some other clues down the road. I nodded in response to Yanagi's concern. Hey, give me your phone. I didn't know Sasazuka had gotten so close, so I jumped upon hearing his voice so near. My phone? Yes, your phone, hurry up. But what? This is just you do as he says. Sasazuka is nearly at his limits with his patience. In confusion, I looked pleadingly to Yanagi and he just nodded in resignation. You were put to sleep in Shinjuku Garden. During that time, they might have bugged you. I quickly took out my phone and Sasazuka immediately snatched it away. Hey! Can't you understand anything unless people spell it out for you? Pain in the ass. With that, he took my phone and went back to his desk. I may be a little on the slow side, but none of these people tell me anything. Especially Sasazuka. Yeah, there's obviously knew what he wanted. Probably just wasn't following him. I stifled my protesting and sat quietly, watching Sasazuka go to work. This thing's security is riddled with holes. That brief comment, Sasazuka tossed my phone back to me. Looked at the screen and saw a sketchy-looking app installed on my phone. I didn't know what he did, but he blocked the phone tap they were using for interception, I think. Even when you aren't conscious, people still have ways of spying on you. Pay more attention. He was correct. He was just being such an ass that I couldn't accept what he said. Sasazuka's people skills need some work, but his skills are sound. Just let it slide. Yanagi's words did not reassure me. I only felt more uneasy about this group. I'll go back to investigating the August case. Even the perps are asking us to. Is everyone here investigating the X-Day incidents? But how? God, just shut up already. Use your brain for once, you stupid cat. What the hell was that for? When your emotions run high, you really do resemble a cat with its fur on end. Is that what we're calling her now? They're not listening to me at all. To investigate the case on their own, they must all have considerable skills. But I didn't feel any concern for me, or any of the sense of cooperation from them. Maybe it's because they suspect me, but I really just want to know what's happening. Shot a pleading look to Yanagi and he sighed. Each of us are investigating different cases. Each of them is a next-day case. I'm researching the incidents as a whole. Enomoto is on April and May, Sasazuka is on August, as he mentioned. Shiraishi is on September and October. September and October? I thought the September suspect died and nothing actually happened in October, didn't it? Do you really think nothing happened in October despite all their talk of a countdown? There's something off about that. There were suspicions of the very thing even at the station. A countdown video was issued for October, but no relevant incidents had been reported. But you have to work on the cases you've been assigned to by the police department, don't you? Oh, I do my job. I do all the work I'm given, that is. Out here, there's no red tape. I'm free to investigate what I want. Are you really allowed to do that as a police employee? Didn't I tell you I'm not a police employee here? I'm one of Yanagi's precious team members. Stop saying precious, it's creepy. Oh, come now, don't be a stranger. I don't understand what's happening here. I had many more questions and it felt like I wouldn't get anything from Shiraishi. He would definitely give me some kind of flippant response or spouts, sophisms. Anyway, I must solve the problem I've been given. To sum up everything I've learned so far, the culprit who attacked me were undoubtedly related to X-Day. You know, I find Otome is like this funny because if it was an in-real-life woman, all these men talking to her like this would be creepy. Yeah, I at least appreciate how Ichika is like, okay, everyone ignore me, everyone just give me a name, sure. You're all weird. These criminals were aware that Yanagi's group of ex-officers were investigating X-Day. On top of that, they were pushed into the course of action that possibly led me to join them. Criminals claimed that this group was investigating was a case that had the same ideals as the criminals. But still, that doesn't explain Shiraishi, who's still employed by the police. He said that he discovered the first letter and took it to Yanagi. I couldn't imagine that he did that of his own volition. It would have been easy for Shiraishi to plant the letter in this office. Shiraishi burst into laughter when he saw me looking at him with narrowed eyes. You are really easy to read. Are you suspecting me now? Guilty as charged. Well, that's what I get for trying to hide it. I might as well. I was a little scared, but I screwed up my courage and just said what I was thinking. Shiraishi, you're obviously taking an awful lot of pleasure in my reactions. Why wouldn't I be suspicious of you? Very true. And if I was with the criminals, you might have forced me to hit the trigger I was hiding to kill you right now. Saw Shiraishi's eyes narrow and I instinctively flinched. Stop teasing her, Shiraishi. Yoshinoi isn't a toy for you to play with. You say that, but she's so much fun to scare. He's screwing with me. I was done letting this jerk rile me up. Shot a hostile glance towards Yanagi, who spoke very deliberately. This is all we can tell you for now. We'll investigate all the incidents. What are you gonna do? Everyone turned to look at me. In order to remove the collar, the best course of action seems to be discovering the truth behind the X-Day. And we can't possibly tell the police. How could I possibly contribute to the investigations in this difficult case? Added in the burden of self-doubt, the men before me gathered had all been researching the X-Day cases from the start. It was like a well-organized production. We can't rule out the possibility that the criminals will contact you again. Shouldn't travel alone if possible. Yanagi's sentence was immediately interrupted by the window opening abruptly. Hi, Kay! Oh, a guest! How unusual. What the hell? This is the 5th floor! How did he get up here? Who is this? Not again. Trespassing is illegal, you know. In my surprise, I hastily hid my collar, but the others seemed to be familiar with the occurrence of the others and didn't react much. Sorry for surprising you like that. I gasped when I saw the man who had climbed in the window was wearing. He's wearing police and SP badges. Is this man part of your team? In response to my question, everyone else in the room made complicated expressions. If you guys have guests, should I come back later? I appreciate that. Also, I tell you every time to use the door when you're coming over. But sometimes it's closed and I can't get in. Anyway, just go home today. Okay. I like him. I love Kay. Kay is so good. He smiled and used the door to exit the premises instead of the window. Kay is such a dork. I love him, but he is also so cool. I love there's one scene you get with Kay where he was talking about his apartment is messy. And Ichika is like, okay, you should get like a little robot to help clean up around here then with the stuff on the floor. And he's like, oh, I did. I bought a Roomba. But then I forgot I left my door open and it ran away. He never found it again. Every time, you gotta admit, that guy's sharp. That guy's too much of a ghost. I wonder if he actually left. Also, Suzuka left the room to check Yanagi smoke. That guy works for the Security Police Division HQ. He's covering us while we investigate. His name is Kei Okazaki. Okay, he's best boy so far. I love Kei. Kei's route is great too. Kei is definitely the one where it's like, oh, he's so cute. And it's like, oh yeah, he's in the special police for a reason. Huh, covering you? The police are giving you protection while you're freelance? Well, that's what Okazaki claims, but who can really know what he's saying is the truth. As for why an SP officer has been attached to us, we don't know what the police's intentions are. I see. HQ Security Police Division, or SP for short. Normally their job is to protect VIPs and endangered individuals. Do the police have a reason to protect them? Yeah, he appeared in my first thoughts. Oh, you're so cute! I like you! Yeah, he's definitely that. He is definitely an adorable boy. I mean, he also gets very serious when he needs to be, which is like, yeah, okay, special police, you need to be. But also when he's like off the job, it's just like, oh, baby boy. Since we have no idea what the police's intentions are, we can't let Kei Okazaki know about you. If he learns about the caller, it'll be bad. The criminals told us not to tell the police, so we can't complicate things by telling him. Okay. He didn't seem that sharp to me. Lies! But you can't judge a book by its cover. Entering the window was pretty suspicious. One can never be too cautious. Anyway, do you have an answer to my question? Oh, I want to get this caller off immediately. We need to investigate X-Day to do that. Since I couldn't report this to the police, it was obviously better to have assistance. Still, can I really trust this lot? Is it really right for them to collude with- Is it really right to collude with them, despite being a police officer? Honestly, I was hesitant. Could I have a little bit more time to think about it? Alright, it'd be unreasonable for me to press you on the decision now, given the situation. You might be a bit hesitant to work with us, having just met us. I don't want to let you die. You're not a policeman anymore. I'm not a policeman anymore, and I didn't just abandon the ideals when I was back. Bleh. Didn't just abandon the ideals I had back when I was. There was a strong fire in Yanagi's eyes and it drew me in. Well, that's a shame, man, because we can't unlock your route until we do every other boss. Maybe I had a good impression of him since he was the first to help when I'd been poisoned. I want to trust him after all. Thank you, lots happened, so I'm really confused. But I collect myself when I think about it. Okay. So, for now, we need to be able to contact you somehow, right? Right. Like Ichika, I'm pretty sure Kei figured it all out by now. Oh yeah, he knows for sure she is being watched. He is not dumb. To an extent. In case I needed to contact anyone, I exchanged phone numbers with everyone. Well, then I'll be back at night. Squinting the rays of the morning sun, I left the detective office.
Oi.
Hey. Turn around and see Sasuke there. What is it? What are you hesitating for? Huh? You asked for time to think about joining us. Is there a reason you won't accept us? Whatever Yanagi might say, or whatever the reason you have, it doesn't change the fact that you're a big lead on the X-Day cases. At the very least, I won't be letting you waltz off. What's this supposed to mean? Even fools have their uses. That's what I'm saying. Don't you get that? Sasuke's eyes narrowed in irritation, and then so is this there he grabs me by the throat? Yeah, this is. Okay, he yanked my muffler hard. Hey! Shut up. Sasuke was glowering at me. He stared at me with what looked like might be hatred. Chill ran down my spine and I froze. Don't think everyone will sympathize with you just because your little life is in danger. This was a shocking statement! Yanagi, on the other hand, said that he didn't want to let me die, and the moment of safety I had felt vanished. I realized that even for a moment, I had allowed myself to think that I was in a sympathetic environment. He's different. I could be killed at any moment. Did he not care at all? Whether you're cognizant of it or not, the matter of the fact is Adonis has placed some value on your life. As if I would waste a card like that. I don't know what you're scheming, but they told us to get to the truth. Have you forgotten already what the voice said? They'll be watching us through your collar. I'm only working to solve this case. If I need you to do it, there's no way in hell I'll let you get away. That's... I replied, my voice cracking with fear. You don't care if I die, you suspect me. These are both valid questions. I don't even remember what's an affection route with them one. You don't care if I die? Overcome with emotion, I blurted out the indignant question. Sasuke rolled his eyes. Idiot, you're hopeless. With that, he let me go. I don't even feel like answering that. If that's what you think, then so be it. Shut it, stupid cat. I don't have the patience to gently explain the situation to someone as dense as you. Sasuke exasperatedly looked at me again and sighed in disgust. Listen, running away from us is not really an option you have right now. You can either shut up and help us, or let me watch out for you and use you to help us. Pick whichever option suits you. Those are your only options. Get it? Under Sasuke's ice-cold glare, I finally nodded. Stupid cat, don't forget what I told you. Yes, we're supposed to date him at some point. I actually remember I liked his routes. I was like, I don't think I want to date this guy. And it's like, okay, I should eventually do his route. I don't remember. Was he the... I think he was the second route I was on, because I think I somehow got Enomoto's the first one. And I did Takeru's, and I'm like, oh, this is a whole route about PTSD. Leaving with that, Sasuke went back inside without a second glance. Feeling like a fugitive, I checked behind me once I reached the intersection. I saw him go back inside, and I knew he wouldn't come back after me, but still. I want to hurry up and get home. I was staring at the red light when I was suddenly tapped on the shoulder. I jumped in surprise and spun around. Hi, Kay! Oh, sorry. You were just in that detective agency, right? It's the SP guy! Not knowing why he approached me, I nodded cautiously. That's right. I had a request for the kid! So, I don't know if you can actually see it. I did actually take Kay's design as reference for Naomi before. This actually, from this game, I've taken a couple things as a reference. I took some things from Kei Maneki, I took a couple stuff as reference for this one. And I took parts of Kei's design and actually used it for Naomi, because I liked Kei. Oh yeah! It was a detective agency, so I thought it'd be a good bluff, but his eyes went wide. I can see the innocent influence Naomi! Huh? They got a job? Yes. How strange. I heard that they were generally not getting any work at all. Wait, really? Alarmed by the sudden twist, I thought back to what Yanagi said. That guy works in the security police division in HQ. He's covering for us while we investigate. His name's Kei Okazaki. As for why an SP officer has been attached to us, I don't know what the police's intentions are. I knew that Yanagi was dependently pursuing the X-Day cases. In other words, this man knew the detective agency was just a front. Regretting such an obvious lie, I scrambled desperately for a cover. They made an exception for me! I had nowhere else to turn, so I begged them and they took the job. What a terrible excuse. You begged them. Yes, I needed their help. I had no choice. Wow, sounds like you're in quite a bind. He gave me a look of pity. I'm sure I would do the same in his position. The signal changed. I'll be off now. Goodbye. I tried to leave as quickly as possible. Wait a moment. It's dangerous to go alone, so please allow me to accompany you home. He tugged on my sleeve and smiled. This is bad. I'll be fine. It's right around the corner. Oh, it's no trouble at all. No need to be polite. Come on, let's go. Okazaki took my hand and started walking. He's pushier than I expected. What should I do? Oh, yeah, I haven't introduced myself yet. I'm Kei Okazaki. I know. The smile of someone up to no good. I love. Yes. Of course, I didn't say that out loud. Because of my own circumstances, I ended up at that office a lot. I know that too. After another mental comeback, I took some time to consider my next move. I'm glad my holster's concealed under my coat. If not, he'd know that I was a cop. No matter how many times I said I was fine, he wouldn't listen, and now we're near my home. I didn't prompt the subject, but he had been talking about the detective agency the entire time we'd been walking. Hey, relax. All those guys are great at their jobs, and I'm sure they'll succeed at the job you have for them. I see. Well, they were police, so that makes sense. They're serious and principled people. I'm sure you'll see once you get to know them. I have to say Kei's neutral expression reminds me of Akio too. A little bit, yeah. I mean, it's entirely possible I took some inspiration from Kei and Akio as well. I know for sure Naomi, I had a board full of different characters and Kei was on there. Okazaki's gentle smile made me a little curious about why he was assigned to the police to protect the group. It's right here. If I just picked a different department to lose him, but he followed and knowed I was lying. With that in mind, I just headed up directly to my place. Okay, see you around. See you around? I wanted as little to do with him as possible, but if he was protecting Yanagi's group, I'd run him into him again if I went there. Wait a second. The letters from the criminals, he could have planted them, right? He works for the police, so he could have slipped the first letter into the files. He comes through the window, so he could have left the second letter in the office. Well, bye!
Bye-bye.
Yes, thank you very much for your help. I stared at his back as he walked away. Okazaki, he spoke as if he knew quite a bit about Yanagi's group. They're the people he's protecting, so that's perfectly natural, but only a certain caliber of person worked in the SP. There should be many other people in this town worth protecting in a city this dangerous. Yet, he's watching Yanagi's group. Something's definitely off. I could have thought more about it, the more I felt like I couldn't trust him. To begin with, the first letter indicated that a criminal was in the station, or that there was a traitor in the ranks. But why me? Even more questions filled my head. She is one of our sympathizers and a woman with the potential to inherit our will, so treat her with courtesy. A sympathizer. Though Yanagi's group and Ozaki were linked, I had no idea what term applied to. I don't think anyone would sympathize with the perpetrators of the X-Day murders. They'll put this collar on me. What do they want? I don't know anything. I got home and sat on my bed and thinking, I sat down on my bed to think instead of changing my clothes. What should I do now? My thoughts traveled to a maze of twisty passages, all like... Oh, there you are. Oh, there's your brother. Kazuki. My brother Kazuki came into the living room. The clock read 7 a.m. It was about time for him to wake up. Morning. Sorry I didn't make breakfast. It's okay. I don't want any. Are you staying home today? No, I'll rest in a bit and then head to work. I'm busy this evening, so I think I'll be home late. Fine. With that, Kazuki left the room. Normally I'd say I'll make breakfast now and then force him to eat, but honestly I don't really have the strength now. Frankly, my hands are full. I need to get some sleep. I wasn't in the mood to do anything, so I just plopped on my bed and closed my eyes. But slumber didn't take me. In the end, I didn't sleep a wink, and it was time for work. I came to work tired, and I made a lot of careless mistakes. Mochi does sent me home early, so I groggily made my way back to the train station. Still have time left to burn before I'm supposed to meet with Sayaki. Wonder if there's anywhere near the pub where I can kill time. Hey there! Oh man, today was horrible. I caused a lot of trouble for Mochita too. Oh, you didn't hear me? Hello? You? Today I should go over to Yanagi's office and decide what I'm... Boo! Hey, you finally noticed me! I've been calling you for a while now. Kazaki? Sorry, I was deep in thought. We parted ways this morning. I didn't expect to run into Amir again. They were serious about him being ghostly cute. Hey, can we talk in the park over there? Talk? I wasn't thinking quickly enough for this. We both work for the police, and I don't want to let anything slip. I just have to apologize to him and turn... Okay, let's go! What? Huh? You don't want to? I have plans already. Not even for a minute? He looked at me like an abandoned puppy dog. My reluctance faded. No, it's fine. Great to hear. Then away we go. He casually swept up my hand and I knew I was trapped. The park used to be bustling with children playing. Any person younger than 20 now was escorted by an adult guardian until they got home. Nobody knew when something might happen, so most people kept their children at home. Outside the park was so empty. Let's see here. Okay. What are we gonna talk about anyway? We were sitting on the bench, but Okazaki didn't seem like he was gonna say anything. I sat quietly and sadly looking at the abandoned park. I felt a pressure on my shoulder and saw... Good night! He's sleeping? You gotta be kidding me. He's not just faking. I watched him for a bit, but he really did seem to be asleep. He's like a puppy! He just instantly fell asleep in public. Is this guy really an SP officer? Now what? I can't move. Having said that, I couldn't bring myself to wake Okazaki. He was sleeping soundly. I heard that the SP was really tough. Maybe he didn't get enough sleep. Just a little while then. I was sure he'd wake up in a bit. Thinking that, I stayed still. Okazaki showed no signs of waking up at all. It's already been half an hour and it's really getting hard to hold this position. I feel kinda bad, but I'm waking him up. Okazaki? Please wake up, the sun's already going down! Okazaki! Is it morning already? Oh, at last, Okazaki sleepily opened his eyes. Now it's evening. Oh, that's right. I remember now. I was speaking with you. For some reason, Okazaki still didn't get off my shoulder. And then he gently laughed. Well, I'm glad to see that you weren't a bad person after all. Huh? I was able to relax and fall asleep. His tones seem to be genuinely warm and friendly. I'm not sure I get it, but I think he's genuinely thanking me. Glad you were able to get some rest, Okazaki. Thanks. You're a nice girl. You said you had something to discuss. Oh, yeah, that's right. What's your name? That's... I didn't want to associate with him if possible, so I shouldn't have given my name. I thought it'd been even more suspicious if I didn't give him my name. Remember this morning Takeru called you stupid cat? This morning? He was there? It wouldn't be strange for him to be watching that area around the office, but I didn't even notice him. Is Cat your name? That's kind of unusual. It's something like that. I see. Should I call you Cat? Sure, that's... Okay then, I'll call you that from now on. Cat's got a cute ring to it. This conversation has taken a weird turn. I guess I could just consider it a nickname. Besides, you seem like too nice of a person to be a liar. Oh, really? I knew it. He might have already realized that Cat isn't my name. I feel terrible for lying to a fellow officer, but the criminals would be listening too. If I tell him what's going on, I might endanger both of us. Thinking that, I grip my hands tightly. You brought this upon yourself, Ichika! She really did. Everyone has something to hide. Huh? Things that we hide to protect something are different than lies we tell to hurt other people. And now I know. You aren't the girl that can lie. So, your lies won't hurt someone else. Okazaki. His direct words and confident tone sounded like he's seen through everything. I was bewildered, but strangely, my heart felt a little lighter. You see, I like straightforward people like you, because I can never be like that. Huh? I blinked. Tranced by his gentle, smiling eyes, I felt like he was the straightforward one, not I. That made my guilt return with a vengeance. So if I were to tell a lie that hurt you, what would you do? Be a little sad, I guess. Okazaki's glum expression was so faint, it looked like his world would crumble. Oh, I see why I like his VA's finishes. It is! I was concerned about Okazaki's expression, but he said that he had to return to work and just left. Thought that I'd have to be on my guard, but maybe it was just the atmosphere. He just backed off. I don't want to suspect Okazaki. I met up with Sayaki at the pub and gloomily took a seat. What can I get for you? Along. 2 pints of whatever is good on tap. Sayaki, I'm sorry to be a drag, but I'm not really up for drinking today. What? Fine. Okay, just one beer. A long tea, please. One draft beer and a long tea, right? Coming right up. Sighed in relief and used the hot towel. I'm tired, but I'm meeting up with Yanagi's group immediately after this. It wouldn't be a good idea to drink. I felt guilty for not being able to drink with Sayaki because he invited me here. You promised me earlier, and now you're just drinking tea by yourself. What's the matter? Not feeling sociable? Sorry, I pulled an all-nighter, so I'm really beat. I'm kidding. I'm just happy you came. I was looking forward to today, too. It's been a while since we went drinking together. Glad to hear it. Well, don't push yourself too hard, okay? It isn't healthy to bottle up your troubles. Came to see you at work today, and you seem pretty out of it. It looked like more than sleep deprivation. I know you, the RCPO folks, have a lot to deal with. You just let me know if there's anything I can do to help with. Sayaki. His words made me tear up. Maybe it's because I was so dejected. Oh, but I'm kind of low on cash this month, so I probably can't help on the money thing. And that jarred me right back to reality. It was so like him. Hey, cops are people too! Sometimes we run out of money, right? Yeah, sure. Normally you guys have to pay for drinks, so I'm seriously grateful for you always splitting the bill, Hoshino. It's not really a big deal. We've split the tab for so long as I've known you. While we chatted, the server returned with our drinks. I knew you'd understand, Hoshino. You know, I went drinking with those guys from traffic. I told them that I became a cop to make people happy and make the world peaceful, and they just laughed at me. What's wrong with my dream? Isn't it the purest dream there is, right? Yeah, after all, you're keeping the peace around here, Sayaki. You got that right. I may not look like it, but I'm a big hit with the kids. I can see that you're a pretty friendly guy, Sayaki. Yeah, by the way, you being pretty serious, you had some pretty serious reasons for becoming a cop, didn't you? Serious? Not really, I just wanted to help people who were in need. Yeah, that's what I mean! That time you picked up the wallet and brought it to the police station, weren't they grateful? Yeah, but I didn't do anything special, but I felt pretty happy knowing I could help someone. For sure, SRCPO still listens to the people who are in need. I'm sure you'll be of help to someone. Really? I hope so. It's true because I'm saying it. Although it'll be hard to help them all. At least there's people nearby who are in trouble. You still want to help them, right? Yeah, you're right. My conversation with Sayaki helped me remember my conviction. That's right, I was trapped in the situation and I stopped looking around me. Right now, X-Day killings have everyone in the police station on edge. At this very moment, someone in town might be targeted. The problem wasn't the collar on my neck. The X-Day incidents were at the root of it all. My duty is to preserve peace in Shinjuku. No matter what, I have an obligation to everyone in the end to pursue this till the end. If there was even a chance that I'd help make someone who was in a situation like me, police officers should do what they can. This is no time to hesitate. Thanks a lot, Sayaki. I'm feeling much better thanks to you. I don't know what I just did, but I'm glad I could help. Okay then, now that you're in a better mood, I'll have another beer. Hey, maybe you should stop. It's so cool. I'll take good care, everybody. Sayaki, you're drinking too much. Come on, let's go home. Sayaki kept throwing back beers until he ended up passed out on the table. I urged him to get up and shook his body, and I knew he wouldn't wake up in that state. Sayaki! Sayaki! Wake up! Get off of me. It's hard being popular. He always drinks so much even though he can't hold his alcohol. Oh, a text. Watching Sayaki muttering incoherently in his stupor, I took out my phone. Are you still at work? Oh, Yanagi. Oh no, it's already so late. It's already past 10 o'clock. Sorry, I'll head over shortly. Anytime you come by is fine. You can come after work's done. Let me know when you're heading over. I'll be there around 11. Got it, I'll let the guys know. Hurriedly replied and closed my phone. Excuse me, may we have the check, please? Just a moment. Sayaki, get ready to go. I called him and pulled on his arm, but Sayaki wouldn't return from dreamland. Damn it, Sayaki! What? Buddy's swaying. There's some miracle he made it out of the pub, but Sayaki wasn't steady on his feet. I'll just call you a cab once we're at the main road. Just hang out there until then. I'm okay. Totally fine. I'll walk home. I can ride home too. That's crazy. Hey, look out! Before I could grab Sayaki's arm, he plowed right into somebody who happened to be walking in front of him. Sorry, it was Inamoto. What are you doing here? Both of our eyes went wide and we never expected to bump into each other here. Once he noticed Sayaki, drunk Sayaki, his wide eyes narrow and Inamoto frowned. Hey, are you coming back from the bar? Weren't you supposed to come to our office today? I already had a prior engagement today. I texted Yanagi that I'd come afterwards. Is Inamoto in a bad mood? He gave Sayaki a sideways glance. Is that guy your boyfriend? What? No! Sayaki and I don't have that kind of relationship! That denial seems awfully suspicious to me. Well, it's none of my business. And yet, you still asked! Well, your friend looks pretty sauced. What are you gonna do with him? Obviously, you can't just leave him here. Are you gonna call him a taxi? Well, let me think. I'm a bit worried, so I'll probably take him home. What? You're planning taking him? You're going to a man's house? Buddy. Well, yeah. How do I put this? Isn't that bad? I've already had to take him home many times before. Many times? You're going to the home of a man who isn't even your boyfriend? Are you being too reckless? Enomoto seems to be in shock and he backed away from me. Enomoto? Are you interested in him? I told you before, it's not like that between us. Well, that just sounds even fishier. I mean, you two were drinking together. Anyone assumes something's going on. We were classmates in the police academy. Enomoto's eyes are full of doubts. What reason does he have to be looking at me like that? Well, I just met recently and he used a... I hit a thing on accident. Things are fine. Okay. We only just met recently and he used up all the patience I had for him. Enomoto, knock it off or I'm gonna get angry. What the heck? You're already angry! What did you expect? You keep asking the same question and then you don't listen to me. We silently glared at each other. What's going on? Voices ringing in my head. Dude. Staring Sayaki up in his eyes. Who's that? Oh, I paused at a loss for an explanation. I couldn't tell Sayaki the truth. If it's a relationship you can't talk about, I know. He's gotta be your boyfriend. No! Huh? Was I wrong? Of course you are! Damn right, who'd date a girl like this? What do you mean a girl like this? Well, you know, I thought you looked cool and classy, but you're more feisty than I thought. What? Oh, damn it. Anyway, you are not my type. Well, you're not my type either! What? I raised my voice during this tit-for-tat and Enomoto seemed to stiffen in surprise. Oh, really? Is that so? I see how it is. Well, then I'm glad I'm not your type. He was hanging his head in shame now. Did I overdo it? But he's the one who instigated all this. I got a headache. I looked over at Sayaki, whose face had turned an unhealthy shade of green. Are you okay? I don't feel so good. Sayaki, get a hold of yourself. I'm getting you a taxi right now. In the end, Enomoto stepped in and helped me prop up the shrunken Sayaki. He didn't hesitate and rushed in and graciously helped out. I needed his help with Sayaki. And after that argument, it was a surprise, but I guess I don't know him that well. We got out of the taxi in front of the office and I turned to Enomoto. You really helped us out. Thank you. It's fine. And, I don't trust you. Out of the blue, there's a lot of words I don't remember. Apropos of nothing, Enomoto blindsided me. There's a pretty high likelihood that you're connected to the criminals in some way. Yanagi says to loop you in on everything. I don't expect too much. I was pretty much stunned that he would just come right out and say it to my face. I understand I want to trust you. I think it's I want to trust you as an affection. Okay, I understand, man. I understand that's natural you suspect me. Whether he understood me or not, the mistrust I saw reflected in his eyes was hurt. He used to be a police officer. His devotion to justice was obviously going to make it hard for him to trust someone like me. You can hardly expect me to completely open up to someone I just met yesterday. You understand, don't you? I didn't really know how to answer that, so I just kept quiet. However, he looked at me disdainfully. It's just... well... Yanagi's not the type to get tough on anyone. Takeru is quite rude, but he's very smart. His skills outweigh his negatives. You may not see it, but it's true. I'm not really following him. Shireishi's... well, you should be cautious of him. Yeah, I gathered that much. You're a mean one. I didn't expect you to just agree with me. We shared a small smile. Felt like the first genuine smile I'd seen from him, so I relaxed a little. Anyway, let's hurry up and head on inside. Pretty sure we're late. Of course we can't trust each other, but I can feel that Enomoto wants to be able to believe in other people. Aside from me, that is. Seems like he was trying to make a point, but I didn't know what that point was. Still, when I watched him from behind, I didn't feel like he was capable of evil. Okay, I think we'll stop for now, because we've been at this a while. And it is 1 p.m. I've been reading a lot. My throat's getting dry. I do hope you've at least enjoyed this. At least enjoyed some of the reading. It is definitely slow. There are definitely some things where it's like, there's some weird people here.